I know how you feel. I feel your pain. Walk a mile in my shoes. We have a lot of sayings that tell people, I'm with you, or that ask people, be with me. Hi, I'm Joe Tye, CEO of Values Coach, and your coach for this course on the 12 Core Action Values. And today we're covering the third cornerstone of Core Action Value number 3, awareness, and that cornerstone is empathy. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in the shoes, in the position, to feel the pain, to feel the joy of another person. Now, before we talk about empathy, let's distinguish between three different concepts, three different words that are often used interchangeably, even though they're very different things. And the first is commiserate. Let me commiserate with you. Think about that word, commiserate. Be miserable together. When you commiserate with somebody, basically what you're saying is, let's be miserable together. Somebody says, oh, poor me, I have to work so hard and I don't get paid enough and they treat me so bad. And you sit down and you say, oh yeah, poor baby. What you're doing is essentially you are enabling that person's victimhood. You are saying, yes, you are a victim. And you know what more often than not comes next? And so am I. You think you got it bad. Listen to this one. And it's that pity party trap. It's that circling the drain of toxic negativity that you really want to get out of. What the person who's sitting there whining about how hard their life is really needs is not a pat on the shoulder saying, yes, you are a victim, a little dollop of chicken soup. What they really need is a good swift kick in the behind and to be told, get to work. If you got a problem, work on it. Don't sit there and whine about it. The second word that we use interchangeably is sympathy. Sympathy means to feel sorry for somebody. Now, if I come to you and say, I've just been diagnosed with cancer, what I do not need to hear from you is, well, stiff upper lip and all, it'll work out fine, I'm sure. What I need to hear is, and I want to hear is, oh man, that really sucks. I want an arm put around me, not a boot on my bottom. That's what I would deserve, what you would deserve. Sympathy is genuinely feeling sorry for somebody. Empathy, on the other hand, is truly the ability to put yourself in that person's shoes. You're driving down the street and there's a guy on the side of the road with a cardboard sign and it says, we'll work for food. And instead of saying, yeah, I bet you'll work for food, instead of saying, why don't you get a job, instead of just pretending he's not there and driving the other way, empathy stops, really looks at the human being inside that body and feeling, how would I feel if I were there? It is what Daniel Goleman calls social radar. Goleman is the guy who wrote the book Emotional Intelligence, and he's written Working with Emotional Intelligence, Social Intelligence, and he says that social radar, empathy, is a master skill when it comes to emotional intelligence. The ability to really put yourself in somebody else's shoes, whether as a parent, as a caregiver, as a salesperson, as a manager, to be able to know where somebody else is coming from, to be able to really understand what they're trying to say, to be able to connect with them in a conversation instead of thinking about what you're going to say next, or worse yet, where else you'd rather be, but to really be listening, to feel that person's pain, to feel that person's joy, to put yourself in that person's shoes. And what that means is non-judging. It's a very Zen, a very Buddhist concept, not judging other people. And you know, we humans are such a judging race. Whether you admit it to yourself or not, we tend to look at other people and just like that, we make a snap judgment based on the costume they wear to work, the color of their skin, the tone of their voice, the language they speak, the car they drive. It is human nature. And one of the real challenges is to bite that mental tongue before you make a judgment of other people. You know, surveys or psychologists tell us that about 90% of your impression of another person is made within seconds based on that most superficial of criteria. So here's my challenge for you today. And that is, see if you can go through one entire day without judging another person. Well, you probably can't. See if you can go through one entire day and catch yourself immediately. As soon as you do, take a deep breath and say, now if I were in that person's shoes, how would I want to be judged? If I were in that person's shoes, how would I judge myself? Chances are your answer to those questions is going to be very different than the snap reaction that your ego mind had upon seeing that person. Now tomorrow we're going to bring all this together, the first three cornerstones: empathy, objectivity, mindfulness, and we're going to talk about turning it inward with reflection, the fourth cornerstone of awareness. And I'll see you then.